107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B.
She served as the 67th United States Secretary of State from 2009 to 2013. She was born right here in Chicago, Illinois. Chi-Town girl. She's the former First Lady of the United States. Man, who got that title?
That's a resume, ain't it?
Yes.
She's a mother. She's a grandmother, and we're going to put her back in the White House. Period.
Yes.
Flat out. Simply put.
Yes.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing else
sir.
will do. Please welcome to the show, Miss Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton.
Welcome.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to hear your voice.
You know what? I had you on my talk show. It was great then. I told you I was going to get behind you and be a full supporter, and we've done just that. Just that.
Well, I really appreciate it because I know that you understand how high the stakes are in this election. It doesn't get any higher, and we need everybody to get out and register and then vote because we got to keep our country on the right track, and that's under threat right now.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Hey, we're going to get into that right now. Let me ask you something kind of personal, though.
Okay.
You and I are both grandparents.
Yeah, but just you and me.
Yeah, we grandparents right now.
Yeah.
I've been struggling with what I want the grandkids to call me. I've already pitched one. Marjorie kind of shut it down. She's Nana. They call her Nana. I wanted the grandkids to call me Big Pimpin'. That got shot down. Yeah,
I'm with Marjorie on this one.
Yeah, okay. Well, y'all women always sticking together. So I got shot down, so I'm down to Paw Paw. What does your granddaughter, Charlotte, call you? What she call you?
She calls me Grandma, and she calls Bill Pop Pop.
Pop Pops.
That's cool.
Pop Pop. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Are you enjoying being a grandparent?
Oh, it is the best thing in my life by such a country mile. There's no comparison. I am so happy whenever I even get a picture or FaceTime, and oh my gosh, if I get to see them, it just is transformational, Steve. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's really about, the future. I mean, you look at these little kids and you just want to hold them and protect them and love them and guide them, and you just want the country they're growing up in to be everything it should be in the world, to be peaceful and prosperous. I mean, it really does trigger all of these very deep thoughts when you're around your kids.
Yeah. You know what? I would imagine, because that's really what's at stake here in this election. It's really about the future, but it's also about right now. And what's shaking us up in this whole candidacy is we've got to get America to understand exactly what you're about here. And you do want what's best for the country. How do you see this election going right now? Because you're gaining momentum now because you had to take a short break for a minute because you were ill. And how's your health now? First of all, let me ask you that.
It's great. Thanks for asking. And
okay,
I'm back on the campaign trail.
Okay, so good. What separates you from Donald Trump? Let me ask you that.
Oh my gosh! Can I have the whole hour?
Take your time.
I think it really comes down to our visions and our values. I have a vision where we continue to pursue equality and justice and opportunity for everybody. And that's how I was raised. My mom had a really neglected life, and yet she was able to, through the kindness of literally strangers, not her own family, but teachers and others, to become a warm and loving parent and not be bitter. And my church, which gave me a lot of food for thought as they tried to make sure that I didn't take any of my blessings for granted and understood to whom much is given, much is required. And then I was so fortunate because when I was in law school, I met Marian Wright Edelman, who was the first African-American woman to pass the Mississippi bar. She went down there and started working on behalf of kids and families. She was close to Dr. King. She was close to Bobby Kennedy. And she formed the Children's Defense Fund. And that gave me the opportunity to really see what we need to do, because I believe you've got to change both laws and hearts. We've got to change laws to protect people, to protect everything about them, and we've got to be a clear and loud voice for our society being what it should be, the city on the hill, striving for the more perfect union. And that's my view. And I don't think that's how my opponent sees it. When I went to, defend young black kids put into adult jails in South Carolina, or went to Alabama undercover to expose racist, segregated academies, or when I worked to get kids with disabilities the education they deserved, or, stood up for women around the world who are often the last fed and ignored and marginalized, and everything that I believe in, I want to bring to the White House. I want to build on the progress that President Obama has made during a very tumultuous time. I mean, I'm appalled that Donald Trump will not apologize to the president and to the country for spending years questioning his citizenship and attempting to delegitimize him. And President Obama and Michelle Obama, they've kept their heads high. Like Michelle says, when they go low, we go high. And we got to stay high. We've got to stay focused. And, I know what we can do together to deal with more good jobs, with rising incomes, making college affordable. I've got a plan for historically black colleges and universities because I value their work so much. Mm-hmm. And we've got to tackle systemic racism, this horrible shooting again. How many times do we have to see this in our country? In Tulsa, an unarmed man with his hands in the air. I mean, this is just unbearable, and it needs to be intolerable. And so, maybe I can, by speaking directly to white people, say, look, this is not who we are. We've got to do everything possible to improve policing, to go right at implicit bias. There are good, honorable, cool-headed police officers. We've seen them in action in New York over the last, 48 hours because of the terrorist attacks. We can do better. We have got to rein in what is absolutely inexplicable, and we've got to have law enforcement respect communities, and communities respect law enforcement because they have to work together.
I want to say this to you. You're speaking right now from your heart, because this was not a prompted question about what happened on Friday to this gentleman. I didn't ask you any questions about HBCUs. I didn't ask you the information that you know. This is a person that's speaking from her heart. This is truly on the inside of you. This is what people have got to know about Hillary Clinton, that this is coming from within you. This isn't prepped, started up, and that's one thing we're really looking for these debates on Monday, because there will be no chance for everybody to get prepped. You will then see point blank from the heart of a person and mind what they really think and feel, because there'll be no teleprompter. You can't fix it. I think Monday, we will see the real difference between these two candidates, and I think it'll be a glaring difference.
Well, I'll tell you, I am going to do my very best to communicate as clearly and fearlessly as I can in the face of the insults and the attacks and the bullying and bigotry that we've seen coming from my opponent. I can take it, Steve. I can take that kind of stuff. I've been at this, and, I understand it's a contact sport. But I'm not going to take what he says about everybody else.
Right.
his attacks on African Americans and immigrants and Muslims and women and people with disabilities.
There you go.
It's just something we cannot tolerate, and that's why it's so important for you and for everyone who has a platform in our country right now to really stand up and say this is not who we are. And it's important that all your listeners and your viewers on TV realize they cannot stay on the sidelines.
No.
Every issue they care about is at stake in this election. This is not, a little here, a little there. We can take it no matter who wins. No. The next 50 days will determine the next 50 years. And I say that absolutely seriously. And so I hope that everybody is encouraged to be sure you're registered to vote. It's simple. If you go to a site called iwillvote.com and enter your information, you can find out, are you registered? Where do you go to register? Because I need you. I need you, people who believe, as we believe, in what we need to be doing in our country to make it better and make it fairer. We got to stand up and be counted in this election.
Hey, let me tell you something. Ms. Clinton, you have our word here on the morning show. We are going to see this thing through. We are pushing real hard for voter registration. The polls are not counting the right people. The polls are not counting all of us, and we're very well aware of that. We supported President Obama. We heard his plea at the caucus meeting, what would mean the most to him if we got behind you. We're not going to let you down. Be well on Monday. Be aggressive. If you say what you just said today, we're going to hit it over the wall. But we behind you, Ms. Clinton, and we wish you nothing but the best. But more than that, we are going to the polls, and we are going to vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to talk to you, Steve, and everybody. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.